Hello Key Stage 2, this is Miss Wetton here looking at converting measures. All week we're going to be looking at units of measure, think about capacity, length, weight, and today we're going to look at the first step in how to convert measures. So before we convert measures, we have to think about revising, multiplying and dividing by 10, 100 and 1000 because that is going to be the method for conversion. Now, I've done my place value chart here because that's going to help me convert. So if I've got multiply or divide by 10, I'm going to move my numbers one space. That's because 10 has 1 0. So if I'm going to multiply or divide by 100, how many places will I move my numbers? Yeah, absolutely 2, because 100 has 2 zeros. And by 1000, I would move it, well done, 3, because 1000 has 3 zeros. Now if I'm multiplying, I'm making the number bigger. So I'm going to move the numbers up the place value columns. And if I'm dividing, I'm making the number smaller. So I'm going to move them down the place value columns. So if I've got 36 point, that's my decimal, 7, and I want to multiply it by 100, I'm going to move it how many places? Yep, 2, and which direction? Absolutely up. So I'm going to move it up now. 1, 2, I'm going to write it on my new column. 1, 2, and the next one, 1, 2. Remember, we can't move the decimal. The decimal is concrete, it never moves. But I've got an empty ones column. Well, I can't have an empty ones column. So what can I use to fill that? What is the only digit we're allowed to add to numbers? Fantastic, a 0, a placeholder. So my answer is 3,670. We're going to carry on thinking about this, but we're going to use jottings now to help us. So, if I've got 47 divided by 10. First of all, I need to think, how many spaces am I going to move it? 0, well done. And I want to make it smaller, so I'm going to go this direction. So if I'm using my jottings, I'm going to put my decimal, and I'm just going to write it underneath to make it quicker. So I'm going to put my decimal on the new line, and move it one space across, one space across. So the answer is 4.7. If I've got another question using jottings, and I've got 36, and I'm going to times that by 100, I'm going to move it 1, 2 spaces, I'm going to move it 1, 2 spaces, and then I've got 2 empty spaces, so I'm going to fill them with, absolutely, 2 placeholders. So you can draw your place value grid out to help you, or you can use jottings. It's fine, whichever method is the most efficient for you. So let's have a think about converting measures of length. So I know that in 1 centimetre there's 10 millimetres. So if I want to get from centimetres to millimetres, I'm going to multiply by 10. But if I wanted to go from millimetres to centimetres, I would use the inverse and I would divide by 10. Have a look at this next one. See if you can use this to help you to figure out what to do. Fantastic. So I'm going to multiply here by 100 because there are 100 centimetres in a metre. And if I wanted to get centimetres to metres, I would divide by 100 using the inverse operation. Excellent. What about the next one? Fantastic. Same thing, but this time times 100, times 1000, and divide by 1000 because there are 1000 metres in a kilometre. Excellent. I'm going to use that now to help us on our questions. Okay, so I've got 3.2 centimetres is how many millimetres. So what am I doing? Am I going from centimetres to millimetres or millimetres to centimetres? Yeah, I'm going from centimetres to millimetres. So I've got 3.2 and I need to times it by 10. So I'm going to keep my decimal there and I'm going to move my numbers across one place. But I've got an empty ones column again. Remember, I can't have... Oh, what's Miss Wetton done wrong there? Have a think. Can you spot the mistake? Well done. Miss Wetton has gone the wrong direction. She's done divide because she's made the number smaller. And we're trying to get from centimetres to millimetres. So we should be times in. Well spotted. So we're going to have another go at that. Great reasoning there. So we've got 3.2 and we want to make it bigger because we're times in. So I'm going to move them across one and the answer is 32. Remember, I don't need to put that decimal place because there's nothing after it. It was just there to help me work out. Well done. Have a look at the next question. So this time I'm going from millimetres to centimetres. Yeah, this time I want to do the division, don't I? So I'm going to pop them in, add my decimal, and I'm going to move how many spaces? Yeah, 1, because we're dividing by 10. So I'm going to move my 2 over, keep my decimal in the same place, it never moves, move my 7 and move my 1. So my answer is 17.2, and we do need the decimal this time because we have digits after the decimal place. Okay, centimetres to metres. Have a think, what do we need to do? So I have 384 centimetres. If I'm changing it to metres, am I dividing or am I timesing? Yes, I need to divide, and I need to divide by 100. So I'm going to add my decimal in to help me. I'm going to do 2 jottings this time because I think it will help if I move it 1 and then 1 again. So I'm going to move it over 1, and then I'm going to move it over again. That made it easier for me when I was using jottings and not a place value. So what's my answer? 3.84. Fantastic. Okay, this time I'm going to metres to centimetres. So am I timesing or am I dividing? I am. Fantastic. I need to times. So I'm going to make the numbers bigger. And I'm going to use my double jottings again to help me because I'm timesing by 100. So moved it once, move it again. Oh, I've got an empty ones column and I can't have an empty ones column. So what do I need to add? A placeholder. Fantastic. So my answer is 180. Excellent. 2 more. We're nearly there. We're just going to have a look at kilometres now. So I've got 3,689 metres. I'm going to convert it into kilometres. Am I going bigger or smaller? Absolutely, I need to divide by how many? 3. So let's do 3 jumps to help me. So what's my answer? Fantastic. 3.689. Last question. Kilometres into metres. So am I timesing or dividing? Timesing. So I'm going to make it go big. I'm going this direction. Put my decimals in. How many times do I move it? 3, because 1,000 has 3 zeros. Excellent. So that's 1, 2, 3. But I have 2 empty columns, which is not okay. So what should I fill it with? 2 placeholders. Excellent. And when I write my answer, I don't need to put the decimal place because there's no numbers after it. Fantastic. So now have a go at your home learning, and don't forget to email your work for feedback. Make sure you're thinking about which way to move them. Don't make the same mistake Miss Wetton did. Bye.